In the fabled land of Northern California, nestled in the Valley of Sacramento, two friends begin a journey to enlighten the world about their experience living life as a Zennial. But what is a Zennial, you may ask? If you wish to know, then follow them on their adventures.
Welcome to the Zennial Chronicles. This is James.
And this is Mike.
And we're here today on St. Patrick's Day.
Yay! You guys aren't going to hear this until like the Monday after, though.
Yeah, but we're here on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. So it's still St. Patrick's Day now.
For us.
Yes.
Yes, for us. And that means that I, at least, feasted on a dinner of corned beef and red potatoes. And since I'm not a big fan of cabbage, I mean, I do like it in certain things, especially just steamed by itself, but I don't necessarily like it with the whole thing of St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I do Brussels sprouts, which I did.
Okay. I was trying to see. I was like, that's not cabbage. What is that? But Brussels sprouts works. Brussels sprouts works.
They're basically mini cabbages, and I got a thing for minis right now. So mini cabbages. I have my little mini. Yes, that's funny.
Yes.
Well
done, sir.
Yeah, I did those in the air fryer because they're really good in the air fryer.
Ooh.
Yeah. Plus, they work really well for the day after St. Patrick's Day, because St. Patrick's Day is not just about having your corned beef and having your potatoes and having your cabbage. Interestingly, apparently, a lot of people like to put carrots in with their corned beef. I guess you can, but why? That's just one extra thing that you have to eat.
Yeah, I mean who doesn't like a little extra to eat? Like, I'm kind of a fan sometimes, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
are you calling me a grapefruit?
I'm not calling you anything.
You're calling me a grapefruit.
God,
anyway,
all of a sudden you think it's about you.
It's always about me. Especially where food is involved. That reminds me of the song.
Fair.
I'll get to the song in a minute. But anyway,
okay.
Anyway, yeah, I did all that, and of course, I made sure to have my traditional Irish beverage with it. I made sure I had a Guinness with it. I sent you the pictures.
Yes. Yes, I also responded with a picture.
Yes, and since what was in your glass though? Was that Guinness? It looked like there was ice in there.
There is ice in there. It was not Guinness.
What ice? What was it? Was it Coke?
There's Coke in there for sure. Yes.
Oh, you did nasty, didn't you?
Nasty. Fuck off.
You did disgustingness.
I did not. I just started harder than you did.
You sullied your Coke with nasty stuff. You could have done something better. Was there Crown in there?
No, there was not Crown in there. There was Jack Daniels, like there fucking should be. You tell me this nasty shit.
It is.
Yeah,
nasty.
I love how he responds. I love how you tell me, you show me your meal, and you're doing the whole traditional Irish thing. I love it. Like you'd have the corned beef, the potatoes, and I actually am going to have to try the air fried Brussels sprouts.
Oh,
that sounds pretty good. You got your full pint of Guinness there, like the whole deal going on. And I respond. I have to tell you just so everybody else sees the context of what I responded with. My dinner tonight was a turkey cheeseburger and mac and cheese and a Jack and Coke.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure what the sandwich was. I wasn't sure exactly what the sandwich was.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, is he having like that's really, really gray looking corned beef, but okay. Maybe he's having a little corned beef sandwich. And is that Kraft mac and cheese?
Yes, that is Kraft mac and cheese, and we put real milk in it this time too. Which normally we've been like all about the almond milk. Not bad, like almond milk's good, but there's a creaminess to regular milk.
When you're making
flavor to it.
Yeah, when you're making Kraft macaroni and cheese, almond milk just doesn't cut it. It doesn't give you the right thing for it. You need to either do you can do like powdered milk, because that's even better than almond milk, which is what we do because we don't normally keep regular milk in the house anymore. But regular milk is so much better.
Powdered milk will last a hell of a lot longer than anything else, though.
It does, and you only have to make what you need for the purpose. Although a couple of days ago we had chili dogs for dinner, and it's a good night to have that too, because I had to go on a special adventure that night. I will get to that adventure later. We actually got a pre-made mac and cheese thing from Sam's Club.
Hey, all right.
And got to it. Interestingly enough, no, this is actually important because as everybody's eating it, the grandmother's eating it, who normally really complains every time we make mac and cheese, especially Kraft, because like some days you just want Kraft mac and cheese.
Yep.
We all can agree that it's crap mac and cheese, but you just want it some days. It's like Jack in the Box tacos, and there's a point to this that I mentioned Jack in the Box tacos.
Oh, okay.
Jack in the Box tacos are the worst tacos ever. They are not good tacos, and yet
there's something about them though.
When you want Jack in the Box tacos, you need to eat Jack in the Box tacos. You can never put those on a list of like these are the best tacos, because they're not. They're awful.
No, yeah.
I mean, the technically speaking, and this is even horrible to say this. Taco Bell makes better actual tacos than Jack in the Box tacos, and Taco Bell's tacos are just, ugh. But Jack in the Box, not good tacos. But when you want them, you need them, right? You have to have them, and you have to eat a crap load of them.
Absolutely.
You can't just have like 2. You got to order like 15 of them, and always order those without lettuce, because the lettuce on them is always wilted and nasty. Just get like, and you can't get 15. You have to get 16 because they come in 2s. Just get a crap ton of those, and then get a bunch of ranch dressing, and then dip them in the ranch dressing. They're freaking amazing. And you'll eat a bunch and not even realize. They even have the little tiny ones, the mini ones, that you can get in like a box now.
Dude, the ones the mini ones in the box, like you could definitely tell who they're like. They know their target audience extremely well.
Jack in the Box is
those things are fucking nasty.
They are targeting stoners completely.
Oh yeah, those things are fucking nasty. But even like, there's those times at like 1 a.m, like I still every once in a while, like you do the late at night thing, and for some reason it could be 8 o'clock, right? But the sun is down. And you're in a Jack in the Box parking lot, and then all of a sudden, for some reason, mentally for me, just from a history of playing like shows and stuff, and then hitting up fast food on the way home, because that's what you always did, right? It automatically turns into, it's 1 a.m, the show is over, you're exhausted, but damn it, you want something fried. Like, that's just the way things go.
And so you go to Jack in the Box, and you get like, maybe get their egg rolls, get their curly fries, and you get some of them tacos and stuff.
But those mini tacos like smothered in like liquid cheese and like the freaking nacho cheese and God knows what else, other hot sauce, I would still try them. Like, I look at them and I'm like, God, that looks disgusting. I want 2 of them.
I know. Actually, coming back from shows from your first band that we would go to, we would stop at Jack in the Box fairly regularly. There was one specific one. You had the one venue, the boardwalk, when it was the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Now it's no longer even open, right? That thing closed.
No, the boardwalk. The boardwalk closed up. The owner, the guy who was the owner, Mark, he actually passed away in late 2020, and this entire last year, they were trying to find a buyer, but I think it's just really weird. Like, there was this, I don't know what's going on with it.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But when we leave there, on the way back to the freeway, there was a Jack in the Box pretty well located right near the freeway.
Yeah.
And near a grocery outlet. I'm thinking, if you can imagine the way we would go to get back to the freeway, Greenback Lane.
Yeah.
Throw that out at you. That Jack in the Box we would stop at all the time.
Oh yeah.
And then if we didn't stop at that one, we'd stop at the one that's in your current hometown.
Yeah.
And especially back then, one of the big items that they had was the deep fried macaroni and cheese bites. Oh my God.
Those are good.
I would just go nuts over those. But anyway, we had this macaroni and cheese from Sam's Club, right?
Yeah.
And we all loved it. The grandmother even loved it, who normally hates eating any kind of macaroni and cheese. She usually bitches and complains like she normally does about every fucking thing. But this, she was like, this is really good macaroni and cheese. And I was the last one to take a bite. And I'm like, oh God, everybody else loves this. I'm probably going to freaking hate it, because that's the way it ends up working out. And it was actually really good. I was like, this is some good mac and cheese. The wife even likes it. And it's like, all right, this is something.
Okay.
It had like cheese sprinkled on top of it too. So I was expecting she wasn't going to like it. So she's reading the ingredients and reading all the cheeses on it. And there's some cheddar cheese in it. But you know what else is in it?
What?
It's got freaking American cheese in it. So,
but you still like it.
There are 2. Well, they all love American cheese. I'm the one who hates American cheese. So now there are 2 items that I will eat with American cheese. Everybody listening.
Okay.
2 items I will eat with American cheese. One of them, the Jack in the Box tacos.
Fair.
Which again, I don't know why I love them, but I do. And now this frickin' macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And it's damn good. I still have some leftovers in the
Wow, I'm surprised
We'll
that both items are not actually from Jack in the Box and include American cheese that you would have with American cheese.
Well, I mean, the Jack in the Box has hamburgers with American cheese, but Jack in the Box is also awesome and has Swiss cheese on different hamburgers. And I totally order all the whenever I order a hamburger from there, I order with Swiss cheese. The Swiss is amazing on a hamburger. Like Havarti's even better. That reminds me, what do you think of the idea? Going on a tangent here from dinner tonight.
Go for it.
What do you think of the idea of a corned beef pizza? Pizza with corned beef on it. Here's the reason I'm coming up with this.
Okay.
We had corned beef tonight, and myself ate it. The sister-in-law ate it. The sister-in-law's boyfriend Zach. Interesting that I name Zach as a give him his actual name, but I never say the sister-in-law's name. There's a reason for this, people. It will come out eventually.
Okay.
And the grandmother, right? We all are eating. We're all eating the corn. My kids don't eat it because they eat whatever they eat. But the other person that does not eat the corned beef is my wife. She absolutely hates corned beef. I'm of the firm belief that there are people that typically love pastrami and people that typically love corned beef. They are very similar in flavor profiles, but there's just like slight difference in the spice. And so people usually either like one or the other. I'm one of those people that actually kind of likes both to an extent, but I do like corned beef more. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Anyway. I think so.
She's a pastrami lover. She does not like corned beef. The rest of us do. So we're all eating corned beef. She went out and did a few errands tonight so that she could basically go and buy something else for dinner.
Okay.
She got some pizza.
Nice.
Not from the pizza place we like to go to, but a poor imitation of the pizza place we like to go to.
Oh.
She got herself some pizza.
Oh, okay.
And as she's eating pizza and I'm eating my corned beef, I think to myself, I think I can make a pizza out of this. Because I often think, how can you turn things into sandwiches? But then I think, how can you turn it into pizza? Because sandwiches are the most amazing things. Hamburger is a sandwich, my favorite food. But also, it's fun to be able to turn things into pizza. We've talked about putting Spam on a pizza here on the podcast.
Dude,
right?
Spam on a pizza, breakfast pizzas.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Spam, fried egg on there. That'd be fantastic.
Dude, right? Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm thinking, what would you do with a corned beef pizza? Well, obviously, I think you'd use a white sauce. I don't think a red sauce works with the corned beef.
Okay.
I think a white sauce is appropriate. But I was trying to think of what cheese. Because if I was putting corned beef in a sandwich, I'd be using Swiss cheese. But Swiss, does that work for a pizza? Do you shred it? Does it shred well? Somebody, the grandmother actually, interestingly, recommended Havarti as a cheese to use for the pizza. And I was thinking to myself, I like Havarti. I like it in my grilled cheese sandwich. I like it on a burger. It's really nice and melty on a burger. That could probably work pretty well. Got to have your corned beef on there. I would still, again, put Brussels sprouts on there instead of cabbage. Think of the Brussels sprouts like how people put artichoke heart on a pizza.
Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
About the same.
Yeah.
And then I thought it would be appropriate. Yeah. I thought it would be appropriate to put the potatoes on the pizza as well. The sister-in-law argued with me about putting potatoes on the pizza. The sister-in-law's boyfriend, Zach, said, that's a carb on a carb. And I'm like, bitch, I make a breakfast sandwich that's a waffle, fried potatoes, scrambled eggs, bacon, and another waffle. That's carb on carb, and it's fucking delicious. So shut up.
Dude, you can go up the street to a KFC and get a chicken sandwich where chicken is the sandwich, not the part in the middle. It's the bun. Fried chicken bun sandwich. Like, I'm pretty sure that the rules have been violated to a degree that has just... I don't think a carb on a carb really is too much of a concern anymore.
Which, by the way, why doesn't KFC and that other one, Popeyes, why don't they have chicken and waffle sandwiches? That's if they do, maybe I don't know, but they should. Also, Popeyes should serve some kind of chicken dish with spinach because they're missing out on a whole marketing thing. Should we tell people that part of this whole St. Patrick's Day? I know we mentioned on the last podcast, but I'm not sure.
That have we said anything yet?
We have not.
If they can't already tell.
Okay, so here's the deal with today's podcast. Not only did I have my my dinner with my pint of Guinness, as Mike pointed out, and Mike had his nastiness of Jack and Coke, which I should have realized that's what he had to begin with. I was like, why does he have soda? What a little pussy. But then I thought about it more, and I'm like, he's got to have something more than that. And of course, when he told me,
of course, I have
was
more
like,
than that.
of
Thank you
course
very
it's
much.
Jack. When does he ever drink Coke without Jack? Which again,
I mean,
Coke at least,
have
right?
that.
It was at least Coke, right?
Yes, it's Jack and Coke.
Okay, just a public service announcement for everybody. Even if you are a Pepsi person like me, which by the way, Pepsi just introduced two new. They introduced Nitro Pepsis.
Wait, didn't they used to do Nitro? Did Nitro come back, or is it a new thing?
I don't know if they used to, but they just introduced this new Nitro Draft Pepsi and Nitro Vanilla Pepsi. I did have them. They were freaking amazing.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this? Or I'm sorry. Were you going to go into what the Nitro is, like versus regular soda? Because I remembered hearing about this. Instead of being infused with carbon, it's being infused with nitrogen.
Instead of carbon dioxide, it has nitrogen gas, similar to nitro coffees or nitro cold brew coffees, or what's in your Guinness, for instance, which is usually nitro.
Oh wow!
So it's a finer bubble to it. You know,
Yeah.
Guinness doesn't have the carbonation that you get in like normal beer. That's because it's not carbon dioxide; it's nitrogen, which is a smaller molecule, and thus because carbon dioxide is one carbon and two oxygens. Whereas nitrogen is just nitrogen.
Right.
It's also higher on the periodic table. See, I can still be smart during all of this. But anyway,
we can tell when you say it afterwards.
Shut up. I'm talking. The adult is talking.
The adult. Sorry, something we tried to establish earlier. This is going way off the rails. You haven't even told us. You haven't even.
It's amazing. So the point here is the public service announcement. Even if you're a Pepsi person, do not use Pepsi for mixed drinks. It doesn't taste right. You need to use Coke for mixed drinks. The flavor and the formula of Coke tastes better when you mix it with alcohol. But for the love of God, please don't use crappy alcohol like Jack Daniels. Please use something better.
Okay,
Mike disagrees with me.
Fuck no, I don't disagree with you. You can shut your damn mouth right now. Jack Daniels and Coke mix just as fine. And as a matter of fact, I'll have Jack Daniels on the rocks as well. I have had it straight. It's a little potent for straight, but I will have it on the rocks and chill with a Jack Daniels. A regular ass Jack Daniels. Not to say that I don't like Gentleman Jack. It's fantastic. Single barrel is even better. But dude, you want to talk about your endorsement, man? I will take a Jack Daniels endorsement like hand over fist and tell them I'll do it before I even have any money.
And that's okay.
I would have done that like
fine.
Fast. I would have done that. Hell, I would have done that 10 years ago.
Which I understand completely. And again, if they want to give us the endorsement money for you saying it's great and me saying it's crap because they find it amusing, that look, the orange likes it, but the grapefruit hates it. This is funny. We'll do that shit. It's okay. We're good with that. I'm never going to change my position. I just don't like the stuff. But regardless, please mix whatever you're going to mix with Coke, and also drink responsibly. Which comes to the point of tonight. Not only have I had my my Guinness, and Mike has had his Jack and Coke, but we decided beforehand, since it was going to be on St. Patrick's Day, we would continue drinking throughout the podcast. Mike, what are you drinking tonight?
I am still drinking Jack and Coke. Thank you very much. What did you think I was going? What was I going to move on to?
Something better?
You shut your mouth.
Well, I moved on to something better. I am drinking. Hold on, I'm turning it so I can read it properly.
Oh God, he's that far gone already. He can't even remember what he's drinking anymore.
I am drinking Jameson Stout Edition. I can't even say the word. Damn it! Too many letters in it.
Leave it in.
Of course, leave it in. Yes, it's the Jameson Stout Edition. It's whiskey finished in craft beer barrels. I have not had this one before. I love Jameson. It's, at this point, one of my favorite whiskeys as far as a still relatively inexpensive whiskey. It's not a pricey whiskey. It's not like a high caliber one. Anybody that drinks like really good whiskey, or especially somebody that actually drinks like good scotch, they'll just laugh at me for liking this. And that's okay, because I don't fucking care. I like how it tastes.
I've honestly tried to get into scotch and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can't do it.
I had one that was actually pretty good, but it's a little pricier than what I want to pay normally. But it was actually, I'll say it's even better than pretty good. It was damn good, but I just don't want to pay the price for it. So like, I can buy like 2-3 bottles of Jameson for the price of the same size bottle of that. And I'm like, but I like Jameson because it tastes good, especially this one. This one is really good. And so I think I'm on my 3rd glass, right? Is that I sent you pictures of 2 glasses,
oh shit.
right?
Hold on 1 second. I'm not paying attention to my phone, man. I'm trying to engineer. No, you said, oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you must be, because you said that you finished. Okay. Now you're making me count, you asshole. Okay, hold on.
You counted us in. You did like the 3, 2, 1,
Yeah,
and then I did like the welcome to.
Well, first off, you made the max I count is to 3, and I count from 3 backwards, and then just don't have to think about counting afterwards. But this guy here, so the one that you have, there's the empty and then the full, right? And you said you were on and ready, and then, oh, you must have slammed that, because that was like less than a minute after I told you I had to go grab something from the car. Damn, it was 8:04, and then yeah, you refilled it, and then now we're shit, and then now we're casting, and you finished that one that you had, and now you're starting another one, right? So this is cup 3.
I just finished another one. I'm not sure if I finished cup 2 or cup 3. It really doesn't matter, though.
Dude, I am anyway. I am nursing like a cup and a half. I just filled as I went, like my coffee, like. It's almost like warming up. It's okay. You know when you go to like IHOP or Denny's, and they're like, "Would you like me to warm up your coffee?" And it just means pouring more coffee into a cup that's already got coffee in it.
Okay,
sir, are you there? Okay,
I'm here. You were talking.
No, I was just trying to give you a comparative, because I don't know how many cups I've had, because I just kind of keep filling as I go.
Oh, I just empty and notice that the football is smaller, and then I empty and then I fill and notice that the football keeps getting smaller.
Well, what happens when you run out of football?
I will go get another football.
Is that when we go to commercial break?
Probably. I'll be like, we need to take a break now because I am out of football. For clarity's sake, the football is the shape of my ice. I have ice molds that are in the shape of footballs because it's me. The only other thing I would have probably an ice mold in the shape of would be like the Death Star or a 20-sided dice. I actually do have one of those.
Wait, you have a 20-sided die ice?
Yes,
ice
I do.
mold?
I don't have the Death Star, but I do have the 20-sided die.
Okay, that's funny. That's pretty good though.
Yeah, funny though. I don't think I would want to drink while trying to play D&D, just because. Although,
well, would you be DMing or would you be joining in?
Oh God, if I was DMing, that would be awful, because I would be telling everybody all the secret things, like there's a secret door over there and you bitches don't know. Oh, you should search for it. Oh wait, the elf's not here, so he can't search for it. Fuckers.
Dude, that would be great. You're sitting there just like, I could see you, or not even saying it like that. You would just be the best drunk DM, because we would just look at you to see whether or not there's some grinning. You're just making this dumbass grin like over at the end of the table, waiting for a clue.
Yeah, it's like just sitting there smiling or laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Just sitting there, like you can't keep you're just this child that can't keep a secret.
Should we detect magic? Maybe we should detect magic. And y'all look over at me and I'm just like, yeah, that would be bad. I could play as one of my actual characters. It would probably make the character even better, only because of the design of the character.
Is he a dwarf?
No, better.
Oh, better. Okay,
even
what
better.
Is
he? He's a halfling, which is basically a hobbit.
Right.
He's a halfling. His name is Fuzzy Feet Homefinder. Or he goes by Fuzzy. Here's the thing about him.
That is pretty. No, that's pretty hobbitish, man. I like it
very much. But here's the thing about him. I created the character to be a functional drunk. So he actually gets negatives to his intelligence and his dexterity when he's sober. He has a magical
gets smart when he's drunk.
Yes, he gets smarter and he can move better when he's drunk, because he's always drunk. He has a magical item that is a a tankard. It's a metal tankard that actually acts as a it's a 1d6, which is basically like a club for damage.
Yeah, I have very, this, that I have extremely passing knowledge. This is good for any audience members who are not familiar with role playing.
It's a 1d6 plus 3 magical weapon. So it works as a magical weapon against any creatures that require a magical weapon to attack it.
Okay.
Because some magical creatures, you can't attack them with normal weapons. You have to have a magical weapon to attack them.
And sometimes you don't know whether or not a creature is a magical creature unless there's...
unless you have the lore. You basically have to have the lore and the knowledge to know whether it's a magical creature.
Oh, so you see this creature by this description, and you then have to determine what the creature is and determine whether or not what you can use to kill it. Or you need to kill it,
or you try hitting it with your sword and it doesn't seem to do any damage. I remember at one point I was playing a swashbuckler character, and he was using kind of a rapier, and the main attack for a rapier is kind of stab. You don't really swish, you stab.
Right. Yeah.
With a rapier. And I end up fighting I think it was either zombies or skeletons, one of the two. Undead. It was undead of some point. Some sort. Now, I've been a DM for years. I've played for years. So I know that weapons that are piercing weapons, like a rapier or even like a bow and arrow, they only do 1 point of damage per attack, no matter what you roll for your damage on certain undead, specifically skeletons and zombies, because there's no vital organs to hit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have to do slashing damage or blunt damage. Piercing damage really doesn't do anything, so it only does 1 point of damage each time.
Okay.
And so I'm stabbing this guy, standard attacking, and the DM's like, "Why are you doing this? You know better." And I'm like, "I know better, but my character doesn't know better. He fights in this style. He's got to see that it's not doing damage, and I need to do it a couple of times to make it appropriate within game. He's never fought one of these before." And he's like, "Oh, so you're hardcore role playing this?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I would jump on a player if a player immediately started doing it because they had the knowledge before, but their character didn't have the knowledge."
So you have to go through. So you commit yourself to the actor. I mean, you commit yourself to the character's learning process.
It's
improv. That makes perfect sense.
When I'm a player, yes, only because I've been a DM for so long that I'll call players on that when they use their outside knowledge and what they're not knowledge that their character would know. If I'm a DM, I'll call a player on that. But as a player, I try to do that because it makes the game more appropriate to what's actually happening. It makes it adds that level of realism and learning curve.
Yeah, I understand that entirely.
So the same thing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the same thing with magical creatures. If you're using a normal creature and it's not having any effect, it's not seeming to damage them, then maybe your character might learn, "Oh crap, I need to use something better than this. I need something more."
That's cool.
But anyway.
But yeah, going back to your yes.
It works as a club, basically. So that's 1d6 damage. You roll a 6-sided die to determine the damage each time you attack with it. And then it's got a +3 as its magical thing. But it has other magical properties for it. It can refill with whatever non-magical liquid the person that is the master, basically, of the tankard wants it to refill with.
So the wielder can refill with whatever liquid it sees fit.
Any non-magical. Now the downside is the only person that can imbibe that can drink the stuff out of it is the wielder of it. You can't give it to anybody else. They can't drink from it, and it never spills. But you can refill it with whatever you want to. So he earned this through nefarious purposes. Because his character class was a thief. He's not necessarily the best guy. But
he's a thief halfling with a magical, basically a
magical tankard.
It's a tankard. Okay.
It's a magical beer stein, magical metal beer stein that he can beat the shit out of people with and not spill a drop of beer. And he constantly drinks beer out of it. Constantly. He also has a mastiff that he rides.
So this guy,
a big giant fucking dog that he rides.
What? Okay, so hold on 1 second. Like, you turned a hobbit into a drunken boxing master. You created a leprechaun. Except no, you just created a drunk Irishman.
Yeah, basically.
As a character. Like, that's what he is. He's just some pint-sized, hairy foot, drunk son of a bitch that rides a dog. This is mighty as hell. I love this.
Oh, yeah. He's actually one of my favorite characters that I've ever created. I only played him as a character for a short time, and then I used him as an NPC, non-player character. For anybody that doesn't know what the acronym stands for, you know this from all the video games. Yeah. I use him as a non-player character basically in almost every single game that I DM. The people that have played enough games with me, they basically wait as the story unfolds for when I throw Fuzzy in. Every time they go into an inn, a tavern, a bar, they're looking for Fuzzy. Because at some point or another, Fuzzy is going to show up. He shows up throughout my entire universe of gameplay.
That's fantastic.
And he's always the person who I use basically to draw whatever party I have into whatever's going to happen. Because he's also a very unusual alignment, and the only character I've ever played with this alignment, he is chaotic neutral. And the reason he's chaotic neutral is because he is literally drunk all the time. He is never, ever sober.
A chaotic neutral drunk hobbit that rides a dog.
Yes. And by the way, his main weapon
fights with his beer.
His main weapon is the tankard, and then he also has a magical item. It's called Heward's Handy Haversack. It's a backpack that has 3 different compartments, and the magical property of it is it's kind of part of it is it's a bag of displacement, so you can put more things in it than it has space for.
Oh, so total Mary Poppins handbag shit.
Yeah, Mary Poppins or Harry Potter or Time Lord technology, depending on which geek fandom you're a part of. Which, by the way, small spaces that are bigger on the inside did not appear in the Harry Potter movies. They did in the books, obviously, but when they made those books into movies, it was in the 4th movie, Goblet of Fire, that you had a tent that suddenly was like bigger on the inside than it was on the outside, and the bad guy in that, the actor who played the bad guy was an actor by the name of David Tennant. British actor who is most famous for playing I think Dr. 10 or Dr. 11. 10. He was Dr.
I think he
10.
was the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, he was the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, I remember hearing David Tennant all over the place, and I know him from some other relatively prominent roles.
And so, like, it wasn't you didn't, the way I see it, and the way that many geek fandoms see it, you didn't see Time Lord technology in Harry Potter until there was a Time Lord in Harry Potter. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
So Mary Poppins, by the way, is either a Time Lord or a wizard, one of the two. Take it as you will.
Cool.
I would say that if she was a wizard, she might be in Slytherin, but more likely in Ravenclaw. But anyway,
you're the expert on that. I am so far removed from the Harry Potter series, it's not even funny. It's not that I didn't like it, or I just didn't happen to see it.
That's okay.
Like,
that's okay.
I didn't like. Here's the thing: like, there are 2 major film franchises that I have just kind of missed out on that I can remember off the top of my head. The first one is the Harry Potter series, not out of a lack of desire to see it, just out of a lack of opportunity. Like, it wasn't something that I went out of my way to go see. And then the other one was like Twilight, which is I blatantly avoided that with the exception of like the Riff Tracks films, and I've only seen 2 of them.
Okay, a couple things. You also have missed the majority of the MCU, so let's add that to your list.
That one is
that one.
That's kind of halfway between, man.
Here's the problem. I have a problem with you with the MCU. I don't have a problem with the Twilight thing. Lucky you. Luckily, your wife is not somebody that's freaking obsessed with Twilight and wants to watch that shit regularly. Because oh my fucking god, I hate the damn Twilight movies. It even has one of my favorite actors, interestingly, very much connected to Tennant. I can't even think of his name right now because my brain isn't working. But he has a prominent role in the Twilight movies, and he's a great actor. Otherwise, it's the worst things he's ever done was those movies, and I've seen those movies more times than I want to admit to having seen them. They bother me. Keep that hiccup in, please.
Yeah, no, it's there. I'm not editing that out.
Good, keep that in.
Why the hell would I?
That's appropriate for right now. But my hands are wavy. Anyway, the MCU is the one that bothers me, because like I can get you not getting into Harry Potter because either you're into Harry Potter or you're not. And like I applaud you for not getting into Twilight, and please stay the fuck away from it forever. If you can,
dude.
If you can, please just if you ever do get sucked into it, I will call a priest for you.
Oh, I will never, ever. I
please
hands down
please don't.
Will never. I will swear this to my grave. I will never get into the Twilight movies in any degree. The only exception being when I watch people from Mystery Science Theater make fun of it because they are so good at it.
Actually, one of Sarah's sisters, the one who lives in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember that one,
mm-hmm.
She hung out with us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She does her own commentary track, and it's hilarious. It's
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to see that. I've actually done the. I've done the riffing, like the movie riffing, dude. That's one of the. Those are great parties. Like when you're sitting and watching a movie and making fun of it the entire time and having a couple of drinks with some friends, like riffing on bad movies. Huh?
I don't even need drinks.
It's not. I'm not saying that you need them. I'm just saying it helps with the environment, man.
My football is almost gone.
Oh no, what does that mean?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, as I was saying.
Oh, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing it now.
Before I rudely interrupted myself. The MCU, dude, you need to. At some point,
you are not gonna. You're not gonna have a. Oh man. You're not gonna like me if we continue to talk about the MCU. You're not gonna like me.
Why?
There are some things that I've seen. That involve the MCU. I personally believe that a lot of what has gone on with the MCU and what people, I will say this, based on what a lot of people gush over with the MCU, I feel like it sorely misses the true point of its subject matter, and it has fallen out of interest for me. Like, I saw the first Avengers movie multiple times, but only because it was the only one that was playing in the break room at work. I've seen that one over and over, and it is enjoyable, but I don't really see any major depth in it, and I didn't see any of the build-up. They're just, I can't get behind it. I don't see it, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, but that's like saying that I have to think of an appropriate analogy. My brain is not working enough to think of that right now. I can see how you can see that in the first Avengers movie, and
I'm not using the first Avengers movie. I'm using the things that everybody gushes over with the current incarnations of all of the MCU stuff. I don't hear anything about depth. I don't hear.
There is so much depth.
Is it, or are they Easter eggs, man?
No,
because that's different.
No, there's depth. There's character development. There's growth. There are the Easter egg pieces. I'm not saying that the Easter eggs don't exist, but there is so much depth and so much character development and so much growth that you see in the people and the pain and the suffering that they go through and the cost of everything that they do. And it does weigh on them. It does create the changes in the characters. You see the characters evolve. You see them grow. You see them become more. Even the character of like the first character that started the MCU, Tony Stark, the evolving of that character in just the little tiny details that Robert Downey Jr. puts into the character and the things that you see, the growth of him, and parallel that with the growth of the Steve Rogers character and what Chris Evans puts into that character. Oh my freaking God. There is so much that actually you see the growth, you see them change sides from what they think and why they change their opinions and how each thing affects them. And it's not just random wanton violence and no repercussions. There are
I don't think that's
repercussions
it. I don't think that's what it is. I think that it's not.
Everything changes for them.
I know where you're coming from, and the concentration of those characters, like to a certain degree, it feels like everything that I've seen about it is so. It feels so perfect world scenario, even though I know it's not. It just feels. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of the tone, And I'm not a fan of. This is where I'm not a fan of what the subject matter specifically is about. I feel like the source material that they are pulling from is smarter than the films that are coming out.
Okay, I can see that.
I can tell you that, like, let's go to another Disney property just for the sake of comparison. Okay, let's go to Star Wars.
Oh shit!
Star Wars is a space opera, and yes, there was a lot of contentious gatekeeping bullshit. Okay, that does happen with a fan.
By the way,
yes,
this by the way would have been a perfect time for video because my eyes just got gigantic. Like that one artist that like makes like super giant eyes on like women, like that female artist. My eyes are huge.
Okay, so here's why I am. This is why I'm a fan of the Star Wars series in general. Okay.
Okay.
I honestly think that, and this sounds like a hot take. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for that because I feel like I'm calling out my own opinion as a hot take when it's probably not. To be real, people say that they post opinion. They'll post their own opinion and think it's an unpopular opinion when it's not really.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Would you say that I'm probably the biggest Star Wars expert that you know?
Yes.
Personally.
Yes.
Okay, so I can make the determination whether this is a hot take or not. Proceed.
Okay. So what I like about what is happening with the current realm and universe of Star Wars.
Hold on, time out.
Yes.
Real quick. Have you watched The Mandalorian?
I have not been able to.
Have you watched The Book of Boba Fett?
No, I don't have Disney Plus.
Do you intend to watch Obi-Wan series?
I don't have Disney Plus, so
then
I don't know when.
What the fuck do you know?
Okay, will you shut the fuck up and listen to me for a second because my opinion ties with yours. It's actually in agreement. So shut the fuck up and listen. All right? What I'm talking about is what Star Wars has done is they have expanded upon a universe, but they didn't forget what the core was. The core was always there. The only people that are bitching about it right now are the ones that thought that they understood what was going on. Yes, there was an offshot previous, I can't remember the name of it was the Legends universe, right? It's called the Legends continuity. Is that correct?
Yeah, everything that's in the novels that is no longer considered canon is considered the Legends universe.
It's still.
And let me just say
yes
that anybody that bitches about any of the new things that have happened in the episodes like 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
And anybody that bitches about anything that happens in The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett, or obviously people are going to bitch all the fuck about whatever happens in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, of course. And they will.
Here's the thing about that. Like, there are so many things in the Legends universe that are just like, really? Like, you're okay with that, but you're not okay with this. Like the fact that Palpatine was actually just to throw one thing out. First of all, there was another clone of Palpatine that like turned Luke over to the dark side, and Luke became like full dark side. Like he was wearing a costume similar to Vader, and like this even in the Dark Horse comic books. Okay, and like
interesting.
There was literally a freaking full-on clone of Palpatine. There was a clone of another a pre-Clone Wars era Jedi, Jorah C'baoth. There was a clone of him. There was a clone of Luke, cloned from his freaking hand that got cut off in Cloud City. That a Force-sensitive assassin trained by the Emperor named Mara Jade killed the clone of Luke, so that she could fulfill the last commandment that the Emperor had given her to kill Luke. By killing the clone, she was able to fulfill that commandment. And then she ends up marrying Luke and having kids with Luke. So
I keep hearing rumors about her eventually supposedly starting up. I think people are just inserting shit when they want it.
And let's add that the Emperor is actually painted in a good light because he took over the Galactic Republic and turned it into the Empire so that he could prepare for the Yuuzhan Vong Do you know what the Yuuzhan Vong are? No, you don't, because it's some stupid Legends thing that really is no longer a part of anything. So anybody that's like, oh, the Legends are better than the newer stuff, fuck you, stupid people.
Okay. See, this is where. Yeah.
Now, hold on.
Okay, fine.
Disclaimer.
I need to get to my point.
Disclaimer. This is Drunk James talking.
Oh, yes. I forgot. I'm also drunk. I did. By the way, in the middle of that, I actually finished my previous glass and filled a new one.
You might be the adult at this point, which is a scary proposition.
I was wondering when the tables have turned, sir.
The turns have tabled.
The turns have tabled. Okay, so here's where I sit with it. Okay, when
I'm sitting in my chair.
I am also sitting in my chair, and where I sit with the current Star Wars continuity, the current Star Wars universe, the fact that they retconned Legends was a good idea. I'm going to say that flat out. Now, there are a lot of people that like the original Legend stuff because it was so expansive, it was so large, it was so much content to take in, right? And there was so much that they could get excited about, right? Everything that you said about the previous universe was batshit. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of dumb batshit stuff. It's happened in a lot of comics and novel and film universes, okay? And that's not really where I'm getting at. But the current incarnation, including the movies from the 90s, which, I mean, come on, let's be real. They weren't the best, but they weren't that bad. There were some parts that were that bad, but they weren't really that bad.
I mean, actually speaking, oh God, we don't have time for this right now.
Okay, let me finish my point. The current incarnation, after Disney took Star Wars and started building its universe, they knew who the root fan base was. And it wasn't about, we're going to give you more of that. They are actually taking it and expanding upon it. This is like me not seeing these more recent series, me not watching The Mandalorian is not for lack of wanting to, because I do. And I'd be down for it, like 150%. I really want to see Obi-Wan, like really bad. I remembered seeing the trailer back in like 2017 when they did like an initial trailer, watching Ewan McGregor like sweating out in the desert and shit. Like I remember seeing that trailer.
By the way,
what?
That wasn't a real trailer.
That wasn't?
No, that was something else that they actually like faked as a trailer. I just want to let you know.
What?
What's wrong, boss? The boss just brought me another football.
Oh no. Oh.
And the boss is shaking her head. Boss, wait, why are you leaving? No, I'm a third. Sorry, go on. Ewan McGregor in the desert.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I remember being excited about, like, I want to see the character development that happens between these films. This is like not catching Rebels, not catching Clone Wars,
actually,
all that stuff. I didn't catch it because I didn't have a opportunity to really see it, and I still just like financially, I don't really have that. I honestly like am seeing people talk about it, and I will tell you, I am excited as hell to see all of the stuff that has already been spoiled for me. Like, I want to see it happen. I really do. I want to see it happen. Like, and I will get the Blu-rays of those series when I have the available funds to do so. You know what I mean? When that hits like my priorities list, you know what I mean?
It's almost worth it for me to give you like a birthday present of cuz oh wait, it was your birthday recently.
Yes,
Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you. Yes, it was my birthday 2 days ago. We're
you're admitting when it is. You're admitting when it is. Oh,
what's up? Well, no, I can do that. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I don't use my birth date for anything. I don't use my birth date for like passwords or any bullshit. That's a terrible idea. Why would I do that? Do you do that? That's a terrible idea.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Good, don't. Anyway, so what I'm getting at now, let me guide back to this conversation. I understand what Disney was doing with Star Wars, and they are not just giving people what Star Wars was about. They are really bringing in a lot more depth and a lot more character development, and they're increasing that. Okay? The thing about with Marvel is there was so much development that was done. The tone of what was done with Marvel for all of their factors. Just read the Civil War series to know what I'm talking about. There is a lot of, and I'm all down for political overtone and shit.
Admittedly, the way that they handled Civil War in the MCU, they had to be delicate in the sense that Civil War in the comic books was an all-encompassing thing, and it crossed over to multiple titles and not just dealt with the Avengers, but the only thing that the MCU had to work with at the time period was the Avengers, so they worked it in the best as possible. But okay, here's what it comes to.
Let me finish what I'm talking about. So when it comes down to Star Wars, they are taking a franchise that they removed the convolution from it, the extraneous convolution, and they added character depth in order to create a new canonical
situation.
I'm trying to think of the. It's very homogenous the way that it works, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean that it all works together. It operates. It breathes on its own. What they're doing with the Star Wars universe, I really, as somebody who has been a fan of Star Wars, understand and appreciate it. Even without seeing the new shit, I know that's what they're doing, and that makes a lot of sense. It helps. They take something that's sensationalized, recognize the sensationalism, and then go, you know what? These are characters that have lives, that have depth, and we're going to explore that. That's what they do. I feel like with Marvel, what they did was they took characters that already had sensationalism and history and depth and all of these things. And yes, they want to create something that helps work together on its own. But I feel like for the Marvel universe, for myself, it's missing so much of the stuff that I recognize, that I fell in love with, the things that that radiated with me as a consumer of the media as a kid for such a long time. And I don't just mean just as a kid. Like, I grew up as someone who was very aware of social political issues, civil rights. It was stuff that resonated with me. So when I saw that in what was supposed to be child's media being described, I latched onto that immediately. It made a lot of sense. And so it helped form that type of depth of thinking, helped form my capability to understand the world around me.
Okay.
I don't, and the problem is now that I have become used to that, right? The what Marvel is doing with their movies is adding, they are working with character depth. They are making some of those maneuvers. Like Peter Parker's story, from what I know of it, is fucking fantastic.
Well, and the most recent movie where they bring in the other two Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, and I think maybe what you might see with the next phase of what the MCU is doing, now that it has some control over some of the other properties where it didn't have the legal control over some of the properties that it needed to. I think you're going to see a little bit more of this homogenous thing you're looking for, and appropriate referential detail to the things that you remember and the things that brought you in, and the connection. And the realization that when Disney bought up Lucasfilm, they got the entirety of Lucasfilm. So they got control over everything. They were able to do whatever they wanted with everything.
Right.
Whereas with the MCU, they only got small pieces at first, and they've been acquiring all the other pieces. And I think what you will see as it moves forward is the integration of all of those pieces properly to bring you to, I think what'll happen is eventually when you go back and look at the building blocks towards what the MCU is working towards right now, currently, and in the future, you'll see that they worked with what building blocks they had, and they built the foundation to have the full creation of what it speaks to you and speaks to your original connection to it. I think that it's just taking the time to get all the pieces because they only had a small portion of it to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Lucasfilm, when they bought up Lucasfilm, they got it all. They had full control of every bit of it and could do whatever they wanted with every bit of it, and they could shape it and build it exactly as they needed to. With Marvel, they only got a small piece to start with, and they've been acquiring the rest of it to try to bring it full scope. And you have to, I think, when you see the build happen, you'll see how the little pieces build to the bigger pieces, and it creates, it's like starting, I wish there was a way to explain it properly, and it's like starting with a riff. It's like starting with one riff and then eventually becoming a full album. And you can see how that starting couple of riffs or one riff helped to identify the sound that the band was going for the full album. But you don't know it when you hear the first riff. You don't see it even when you hear the first song, which is just a collection of a couple of chords put together, lyrics put together. You get one song out of it that only gives you so much understanding of a band until you hear the full album, or even maybe a couple of albums before you understand who the whole band is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I think I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, so
if that is proper analogy,
yeah, continue.
A proper analogy, maybe to make you not to make you, but to get you.
Well, I was going to say I caught that last one, but please continue.
We'll use Metallica as the analogy because that's the one that works best with my brain right now. We're maybe at Master of Puppets. Maybe that's where we're at this point in the MCU.
Boy, that took a long time for them to get the puppets, dude.
Maybe we're at Master of Puppets, but we have the rest of it, and there's going to be some. Maybe we're not at Master of Puppets. Maybe we already passed Master of Puppets. Maybe we're at Justice. So we're seeing the next phase of things. But here's the thing: nobody else in the world knew about Metallica when Justice came out. It wasn't until the Black Album came out that people really knew. But does that mean that everything before the Black Album was crap? Hell fucking no. Master of Puppets is still the best album. But
yeah,
people were still learning, and Metallica was still becoming who Metallica was. Okay. And that's the thing is, I think we're at that point that the MCU is still becoming what it needs to be. It only had so many pieces to work with. It needs all the pieces first, and the pieces aren't there yet. You don't have James Hetfield feeling comfortable enough to have an emotional song about a specific girlfriend at the time to be heard by the rest of the band and put on an album and become a #1 hit single that people use at their freaking weddings. You don't have that song yet because he's
that
not
Elton
ready
John
to give
calls
it yet.
one of the greatest rock songs ever written.
Yeah, and James Hetfield gets all like misty in the eyes and almost fucking cries.
Right.
And then lets Miley Cyrus sing the fucking song.
Hey, she fucking nailed that shit. The rest of the band was right there with her.
Well, I mean, I love Miley Cyrus, but that's a whole another thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love her godmother too, but that's again a whole other thing. But what it comes down to is we're still in that early stage of, even though they're on their 4th phase of movies, think of it as their 4th album. They're not giving you the full picture yet, and you need to see the full picture before you, I think, give the full judgment. But anyway,
I can understand that. I will tell you this. I sure as hell want to see Multiverse. I do want to see that. The new Doctor Strange.
That's where shit's going to get a little bit crazy. But anyway,
I kind of want to, I did watch the original Doctor Strange, the first Doctor Strange, and I loved the hell out of it when I wasn't trying to stop from throwing up from the effects of the what is the name of that
when
it's a realm, right? Isn't that a realm where they go to where like fucking physical space goes negative and everything turns into itself and it's like MC Escher on acid? What the hell is that called?
This is the time you would ask me about this. This is the time you would ask me about this, because like right now, right now the brain is not working. You can hear the slurring of what I am saying.
Oh yeah. But
the brain is not working.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll figure out that answer later. It's not a big deal. But like,
it's some kind of other dimension.
I do want to. Yeah, it is another dimension. But it's like, yeah. And I thought it was great. Like, I loved the effect for about 3 seconds, and I was like, "Whoa, that's cool." Oh God, I'm gonna puke. Like, it was immediate, and it took me like I had to take a break in the middle of it to reorient myself. That's oh my God, that's dissociation in cinema, man. Good Lord.
Time out.
What?
The brain worked. It's the mirror dimension.
The mirror dimension. Okay.
Yes.
Oh God. God, that was like, yeah, okay, I can understand that because it kind of feels like a fun house. Like
there's that one sequence where they're chasing the bad guy, the Hannibal bad guy. Because he was Hannibal in the Hannibal series. I love him. He's a Dutch actor.
Oh my God, why can't now my brain's not braining. Mads Mikkelsen, yes. Oh God, I love him.
Great, so great in that in anything he does. He's just fantastic. But yeah, they chase him into the mirror dimension. Doctor Strange and Mordo, Baron Mordo, and which is like I love Baron Mordo only because he's I can't think of his name in the show right now because again brain's not working.
Yeah,
but I remember Mordo, and I remember his real name, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Only because that's like the weirdest name ever. But I freaking love him. He's such an amazing actor. He was in Serenity. He was in Children of Men. I love him as an actor.
Wait, who is he in? Who is he in? Wait, Serenity.
Serenity, the TV or the movie from the TV show Firefly.
From Firefly? Yeah. Who is he in Serenity? Because I've seen Serenity.
He's the oh God, he's like an agent from the government.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that's hunting him down the whole time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But I just love him as an actor. He's a really good actor. But like his name is like one of the coolest actor names ever. Because it's like so not a normal name. Chiwetel Ejiofor. See, I can say that even drunk. I can say Chiwetel Ejiofor. Great name. Just like
that's like, one of those ones. It's like, what the fuck is your name? Wow.
Here's my name. Fuck you, anybody that's going to interview me. It's like my name is not John Smith. It's Chiwetel Ejiofor. Go ahead. Fuck that up because you're gonna.
I could see him sitting in class. I can see him sitting in class the first day roll call.
And the teacher goes, the teacher's just looking at the thing like, yeah, that's me.
Carrie Smith.
That's fucking me.
And then she just like, I could see the teacher just gets up and writes the name on the board. Okay, who is this?
Who the fuck is this guy? It's you, isn't it? Yeah, I figured it was you.
That needs to be okay. Teacher. That needs to be the Key and Peele AA Ron sketch.
Yeah, that's literally AA Ron and D Nice.
Yeah,
seriously,
D Nice. And then accept the fact that when he does it, he actually pronounces it properly.
Because exactly, yeah, he gets it. Chiwetel Ejiofor. Here. Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, motherfucker.
And then the next name he fucks up. See, that's exactly how it turns out.
James.
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 Mike.
James.
Seriously. But anyway.
Yes. Sorry.
We need to take a break because we're already past an hour. We are so past an hour. And
are we going to go like, we're not going to go for another hour, are we? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't fucking know because we didn't even get to talk about like the new Ninja that I have because I have a new Ninja, but it's not the Ninja everybody thinks.
It's not the Ninja that I have.
No, it's not your Ninja. It's a different Ninja.
Did you? Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's go. Oh my God. This is off the rails.
And then I do have a Marshmallow update.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
I can say, here's the thing. I can say Marshmallow, but I can't say Ninja. Ninja is a problem. But
you
Marshmallow
can't say Ninja, but you can
fine.
say Marshmallow?
Yeah, Ninja is difficult. Like I really have to concentrate to say Ninja right now.
Yeah.
But Marshmallow is fucking easy. Also, there's a lot of fucking in the rest of this. I just want people to be prepared for that. That's what happens.
Okay.
When James has drinks. It's happening. It's setting in. It's beautiful.
Oh my God, this is
literally when the boss came up to give me the football, she's just like laughing at me the entire time because she knows she can see it in my face.
Hey,
because
can I say one more thing before we cut to break, please?
Go ahead, say it.
Okay. So I have seen 2 Marvel series, though. I've seen 2 of them. Okay. I saw Daredevil season 1.
Which is
and I did see part of season 2. First off, Daredevil season 1 was fucking awesome.
By the way, those have actually just been added to Disney Plus.
About damn time. They were gone for like 2 years.
All the Netflix stuff had been added to Disney Plus, and funny enough, that actually created a new thing on Disney Plus where you have to depending on the account that you have, because I have account for us and account for the kids, or at least one of the kids who actually watches Disney Plus. If you have like age restrictions on there, they have it set up for age restrictions.
That's good because it's basically an R-rated series, both of them.
Yeah, the Daredevil series.
Well, the Daredevil, the other one that I've seen, the other one I saw was Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah, that's just hardcore.
Those 2 are brilliant. And I was going to bring it back to David Tennant playing the Purple Man. Holy shit. Like,
oh yeah. He's
dude,
awful
the villains are 100% like they're so good on both accounts. Vincent D'Onofrio and David Tennant as the bad guys, sign me the fuck up.
Which is, by the way, why they brought Vincent D'Onofrio back.
I know you told me. I got super excited because I've seen the Daredevil series and I was all about it.
Oh, and the fight between the Kingpin and oh god, what's her name? Hawkeye's like, I can't even think of her name. God.
Yeah.
Damn it, James.
Was there an Elektra series or was just Elektra only
this is
in
what Jameson does to you? But anyway, the girl that's I know the actor or the actress Haley Stanfield. She's the one who played the part. I just can't think of her character's name.
Gotcha.
She has a knockdown drag out fight with the Kingpin, and like she only beats him by like literally blowing up a grenade arrow at his feet, and he even walks away from that shit.
Oh yeah, because the Kingpin's oh yeah, he is like
he's great. And he's wearing,
he is damn near invincible, dude.
He's wearing like a Hawaiian shirt the entire time too, but D'Onofrio is just like, it's like I'm watching him because I'm thinking of the first thing I think of is either he's going to shoot himself with a shotgun or he's
god
he's a cockroach in an Edgar suit. One of the two is what's going through my brain every time I look at Vincent D'Onofrio. But like he's still the freaking Kingpin. I still am waiting for him to take somebody and like bust their head into pieces by slamming it in a car door. It's like, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That was fantastic shit, man. Absolutely.
Anyway, we need to take a break. When we come back, hopefully we'll talk about a ninja. Hopefully we'll talk about a marshmallow.
We don't know where it's going to go. Maybe we'll make up on the next episode. We have no idea.
Well, who freaking knows? Okay, we'll be back in just a minute.
All right.
Hey friends, this is Mike from the Zennial Chronicles reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Zencron, spelled XENCHRON, to keep up to date on all things TXC. And please check out our official website, thezennialchronicles.com, or if that's too much to type, zencron.com. Thanks again for listening, and now, back to the show.
And we're back.
Oh,
we only took a little break. Just
a little one.
It was little to you too, because like you hear a little bit of something. I don't even
God
know what
damn it, this is a mistake
anymore.
This is such a mistake.
You're a mistake. Actually, I was a mistake. I was supposed to be a girl. Sorry, Mom.
Damn. Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to go that way. Like I thought it was. I thought you meant like your parents just didn't expect you to happen.
No, they expected me to happen.
Like I was an accident too, man. Most kids are.
No,
at least the first ones.
No, the doctor was like, "Hey, have a kid, and your female problems will be better." Mom said, "Okay, I'm gonna have a kid. It's gonna be a girl." And then I wasn't. She was like, "Fuck, I don't want it." Literally, she said that. And I was like, I didn't know because I was a kid. I wasn't.
Did that happen like the moment of congratulations,
literally,
it's a boy?
No,
I don't want it.
Yes. Yes, it did happen that way. It actually did. It was like literally, it's a boy.
Okay.
Because this is back in 1980.
And members of your family, and especially your mom, that makes all the sense.
Because this was back in 1980. They didn't have like the tests, the ultrasounds and stuff ahead of time to be like, oh, look, that's a third arm or a third leg or whatever. You didn't see that back then. So like when she was fully adamant. She had told my grandfather, my father's father, who passed away about 5 months before I was born. He passed away literally 2 days before his own birthday. Really,
Jesus.
Freaky. We got some. What's funny though is one of my sisters actually had a child on the same day that was my grandfather's birthday.
Wow.
What would have been my grandfather's birthday, but he died 2 days beforehand.
Well, I mean, it was still his birthday.
Weird. It's still his birthday, yeah, which is weird, and it's a holiday.
But his birthday doesn't change. It's the day he was born.
It's a holiday too, a Bill Murray holiday, if that makes sense to you.
Oh wow, really?
Later. Yes. Yeah. Seriously, like the kid came, and it was like, okay, well, came again. Okay, makes sense. Happens all over again. But that he died 2 days before.
Hell of a way to mention Stripes, sir. But okay,
not the movie I was talking about.
No, that was a joke.
But he literally died though in 1980. So like he died 5 months before I was born.
Wow.
And so my mother had promised him before he died that if she had a boy, because she was pregnant at that point and she knew, if she had a boy, I would have his middle name, not his first name, because my dad already had that first name, and my oldest brother already had that first name, because my family is unimaginative when it comes to names. So, one generation, the same name, another generation, why not? And then even that brother, by the way, that has the same name as my dad and the same name as my grandfather, guess what his first son was named? The same freaking name, because none of them have any imagination. I did, but not them. Anyway, the drunkenness has gotten more, hasn't it?
I mean, belligerence is starting to take hold, and that's fine. That's why we're here.
I like it. It's fun. But anyway, so yeah, she had promised him, well, he'll have your middle name, because his middle name hadn't been used yet in the family. He'll have your middle name. It's fine. If it's a boy. And so her entire plan, my daughter will be born Summer Lynn. That was what my name was supposed to be if I had a vagina. Summer Lynn. I was born without a vagina.
Take note. Sorry, I was going to say something. You just fucking broke it.
That's all right. That's all right. I don't have
Take notes, folks. Summer Lynn is his password.
No, actually. It is a song that I'm in the process of writing and have been for years. Just as kind of an FU to my mom.
Oh my God.
Who's it sounds like I'm a guy that's singing about how a kid was maybe aborted or whatnot, so that the kid was never born. But it's actually about the fact that I wasn't born as a girl, so sorry, Mom. I disappointed you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's one of those like the Third Eye Blind song, the Semi Charmed Life, where everybody thinks
it's like song. Super happy and all this kind of shit, except it's about meth addiction. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing where you think it's some song about some guy reminiscing about the fact that he wasn't there as a father, or he didn't do his proper thing or whatever, and it's actually about, Mom, I'm sorry I wasn't born with a vagina. I had a penis. I'm sorry. And literally,
you just need to make that the chorus. Can you just make that the chorus?
No, that's not the chorus though. The whole point is for people to like sing along with it, and like people think it's some beautiful song.
You don't think you can
get
a crowd of 500 to 1,500 people sing "Mom, I'm sorry I wasn't born with a vagina"?
I mean, if I was in a crowd with the band Tool and they were singing,
Fair.
They were singing the song
Fair.
"Prison Sex," I would totally sing "Shit, Blood, and Cum" on my hands. So
and so would everybody else around you.
Exactly.
And when I saw them, that's exactly what I did, because that's what you do at a Tool concert.
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
And that's the song I love playing around people, because people hear that and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm singing along with it. I'm like, yeah, fuck you people. Anyway, moving on. What was my point?
This guy, I don't know. Okay, so I forget.
Alcohol messes with your head.
Dude, right? Okay.
This is I love this.
Oh,
it's
no.
great.
Oh no, this is terrible.
It's so great. Anyway, I'm going to change topics.
God damn it.
Because I don't even know what the original topic was. And I can't rewind and listen. So you can, but like that would be way too much work.
Oh, this is the worst. Dude, I am in the middle of, I know that I am in the middle and taking part in a post-production fucking nightmare. So I have to listen for stuff like, if you accidentally say something that needs to be bleeped out, not like a swear word.
Here's the funny thing. Mike is going to listen back.
And I don't think you're going to say anything like, here's the deal. I don't think you're going to say anything that's particularly like really insensitive or like racist or anything like that. And I'm not going to say anything like that either. But
like the N-word.
Right. We're not going to say anything. We're not going to be any.
My brother actually. I do want to tell a story.
Full disclosure to everyone here: neither one of us are like that. Like,
no. So my brother
that's just
actually.
That doesn't compute. But I'm talking about like
telling a story.
Maybe if you accidentally like say something that you don't want me to air.
I want to tell a story. Can I tell a story?
This is such a disaster.
The story I was going to tell is my brother had come back. One of my brothers had come back to visit from the Navy, and we were actually out watching a deer in the yard because my parents lived in a place that was like up in the woods. And we were watching this deer.
Boy, it's real swinging up there at your parents' place, huh?
Oh yeah, it was boring as hell. It was awful. I mean, I shot a BB gun regularly for fun at cans. That's how boring it was. My teenage years were awful.
Oh, you went cannon.
Yeah. Anyway, we're out watching this deer in the yard, and my brother says something. He's making some comments, and he uses the K word in reference to Jewish people.
Oh.
And he's visiting from the Navy. No, he's visiting. Right? He's been trained as a rescue swimmer, and part of his training is to like subdue people in the water. Like he may be picking up, his job is to jump into the water to pick up pilots that have, or anybody that's basically gone in the water that shouldn't be in the water. Like if a pilot has to eject from a plane and is in the water, or some dumbass falls off a boat and is in the water.
And they're freaking out.
Or some enemy combatant is in the water. So he's trained to like subdue people in the water. Because like even if it's your your countrymen who's in the water, they may be freaking out, they may be stupid, and you need to subdue them so they don't drown you while they're trying to drown. So he's had some training of combat. Admittedly, it's water combat training, and we're not in the water, we're just standing in the backyard. So I think I'm okay. But like I seriously punch him. This is a dude who's visiting from the military, and I punch him. And I'm not a violent
because he
person.
said something racist. Yeah.
He said something racist. And he looks at me like, what the fuck did you just do? And I'm like, listen. Now, this is a brother that has a different mom than me and was raised by that mom more than by our dad. Right? We have the same dad. But
so he's relatively separated from the family dynamic that you're used to, that you're part of.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
I punch him and I'm like, dude, listen. This is not how dad raised me to be. Now, you've been raised by somebody else, and that's whatever. But we don't say that kind of thing in dad's house. And he's like, he was referring to a person that like cheated him out of something. So he used that term. He wasn't referring to a Jewish person specifically, but somebody cheated him, so he K'd him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's fucked up. Like, you don't say that shit.
And I was like, you don't say that. So we're not going to say stuff like that because Mike and I aren't those type of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll refer to Mike as a leprechaun because he's short and has red hair and there is some Irish in his blood. And like
quite a bit, actually, that I found out more recently.
Maybe he has a pot of gold. Yeah, maybe he has a pot of gold. I don't know.
If I do, I must be hiding it real well because I don't really know where it is. I'd probably use it if I knew where it was. Just saying.
Conversely, he could refer to me as a leprechaun because I'm short, and technically I would have red hair, but it's all turned white because I have kids and they stress me out. So, I mean, it works, and I'm like probably as much Irish as him, if not more. So, like, it really works that we could both be leprechauns. But like that, like, makes sense, and we're okay with that. So, yeah, there's nothing you would edit. Dear God, we're so far afield of things. I don't even know. I
love the mid-sentence recognition. The realization has set in, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
this is
brilliant.
This fulfills the point of what we were trying to do,
folks. We have hit prime Xennial Chronicles content. This is top shelf now.
The thing is, what we try to do with this podcast is we try to basically invite you into conversations between me and Mike. We try to have conversations about things, share some information, but really the point is, the hope is that you feel like you're sitting and talking with us. And this is pretty reminiscent of a night that we would both be drinking. Here's the thing though, normally in most of these nights, Mike would be drinking more than me. I think that I might have eclipsed him at this point.
Oh, you definitely have.
Which is totally awesome.
I'm on about drink number. Yeah, I'm on about drink number 3. Like I tend to ride. I will tend to ride a drink for like an hour. You asked me this 15 years ago, and I would ride 3 or 4 drinks within an hour.
Which is why I think this is a good change of things. Because normally the dynamic has been Mike has been drunk and James has been sober, and Mike has made fun James has made fun of Mike while Mike is sober. Be nice to the little pill bugs in the trash can, Mike. Don't kill them.
Should I explain like part of that story that makes sense?
No.
The part that makes sense.
No.
The part that applies to this specific thing you're talking about. You just want to stay cryptic? Because I'm not going to bring up, like...
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Do you remember any of that story?
Yes.
Now, here's the thing. Do you really remember it, or do you remember the story being told to you? Do you remember throwing up on the pill bug? Or do you remember...
I will tell you that I remember waking up the next morning not knowing, and then... I remember waking up the next morning. I remember not knowing. I remember frantically calling you to see whether or not I did anything terrible. And I mean, like, did I break up friendships? Did I do anything nuts? And what you told me that had happened. And then I remember another time where you came over and you showed me what happened.
I do still have that video. I have that on that's actually on my my video camera that has the small tapes, not the normal size tapes, but the small ones. I forget what they're called. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have the video evidence of
course
you. It was the same video evidence that had
ladies and gentlemen, never trust a friend who shows up at your house party with a camcorder.
Now hold on a second. Let's be clear about this. The only people that have seen that video and that know the content of that video are the people that were there that night and your wife.
Yeah, actually, that's absolutely true.
Nobody else knows the content of that. I'm holding on to that in case for some reason you ever become like super famous and super rich. And then I told you, there's only one thing you have to do for me, right?
Yes.
What's the one thing you have to do?
Are we really going over this?
You have to.
Are we going over this on the podcast, you asshole?
I'm just saying, you have to buy me a house. If you become that rich and that famous,
I hate you.
You have to buy me a house.
I hate you right now.
Never release
you
that.
Drunk son of a bitch.
Hey, even in my drunken state, I am not. I pointed. That was funny. Even in my drunken state, I have not revealed what you said and what I have footage of. Notice how
I'm playing this for you before this goes to air.
No, don't. I
Oh, no. You're getting this excerpt before it goes to air.
But I'm just so we're clear, I still, even in my drunken state, I am not revealing any pertinent information. I'm just revealing I do have information. Right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, you are. And now you're going to make the entire audience ask, what is that information? Because you're putting it on the podcast, you asshole.
The information is Mike is a secret spy for the Russians. That's the information. He's been a Russian sleeper agent for years.
Oh, God, no. Not now. Not now. That is the worst time for something like that to be said about anybody. I hate you.
You know,
it's almost worse than...
almost worse than the real thing.
Yeah.
I know. Although I only thought of that because it was kind of actually a joke game that me and my buddy Rob used to play, our former internet guy who sadly we lost back in November. We used to play a fun game back in high school. He was able to do a very convincing Eastern European accent, and so we would do a fun little thing where I'd be like, "Hey, did you hear, man? Did you hear that that the United States they're planning on doing a major offensive against Russia right now? Did you hear this?" And he would be the foreign exchange student Boris.
Oh.
And he'd just be like, "Oh, I need to make phone calls. Let me make."
Oh my
calls.
God!
Like, yeah, it was. I mean, this is back in the late '90s, so you know.
Yeah, this is before it was
wrong.
Oh,
it was wrong. But like,
oh yeah,
it
wasn't
funny,
okay then.
But it was wrong still. Even back then, it was wrong.
Inappropriate. Inappropriate humor. Well, that's. I think inappropriate humor about hit its peak in like the '90s and the aughts.
Yeah,
like there was stuff that was, well, I don't know, like it was kind of rampant all over it, all over like most major media, like major inappropriate humor was really rampant around that time. Wasn't it? Like, because that's the thing. Like, I remember I can't remember how many episodes back it was, but I remember one of the first, I think it was the first year episodes. You were talking about watching American Pie, like the movie American Pie.
Oh God,
that you would like, and how much you were just like, yes, because I remember it was the Mad episode. It was the one about Mad and the incident that happened in Fair Oaks with the kid that was hit by a drunk driver at like 3 in the afternoon. Walking home from school.
Episodes, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first episodes we did, and I remembered that you were talking about, oh yeah, that's why alcohol consumption is always hit with a negative consequence because of XYZ, and you pulled American Pie as a moral standpoint for alcohol consumption, and I remembered what happened in American Pie. And I was like, that might not be the best one to pull. And it wasn't until you saw it, last year? Or something like that you finally realized how much crazy immoral shit happens on not just, like, we're talking, like,
the
voyeurism
level,
without consent and
especially in the
statutory rape and, like, all of these things that happen in this film that are trivialized to a humorous degree. On purpose. Like the joke is the fact that it's inappropriate, right? But you watch it now and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. Why did I ever think this was funny? Kind of.
And the thing is, my former memory of that was just watching that movie during a time when I was out long-term relationship where physical intimacy was kind of off the table, not going to happen. And just watching that movie and thinking to myself, God, if I was in the position that Jim was in especially considering his name was so similar to mine, if I was in the position he was in, damn, I would react better than what he reacted. And I would wish I was in that position. And that was kind of like, for a long time, my overarching memory from watching that movie. I saw that in the theater with the girlfriend that was not necessarily wanting to allow any of the physical intimacy. So it was just like, I'm watching it and I'm going, oh my God, dude, you have the opportunity. I wish I had that opportunity. And looking back now and thinking, God, how shallow of a human being were you back then, James?
Right.
How awful of a human being that's the only thing you took away from that movie was, God, I wish I was in his position, as opposed to, God, the exploitation that existed within that movie. But it was a different time frame. It was a different mentality.
Yeah.
And the thing is to look back and realize
what's accentuated is not the lack of knowledge that Shannon Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Is that her name? The lack of knowledge that her character has, that she's being videotaped without knowing about it, it's so just brushed over. And it's part of the joke. And that's probably the worst part about it that you see.
Yeah.
That you look at that and go, oh my God. But at the same time, like, it will tell you in general what the idea of how society in general looks at that kind of stuff now, and how much it is a positive evolution in the right direction. Like, your mental state reacts to a situation like that going, that's fucked up, what the hell? Rather than feeling, because the scene is panned out to feel sorry for the dude that missed his opportunity, quote unquote.
Yeah.
When the real victim of the scene is the girl who didn't know that the dude was being predatory as shit. And then
even more insulting, in the second episode, in the sequel to it, she doesn't seem to be overly fazed by the fact that her naked image was posted all over the internet and all these people saw. She was still more interested in getting back with him, and it's still that shallow, misogynistic kind of mentality about it. And it's gratifying to know that we've kind of grown so much from that moment.
You hit on something too that I'm going to touch on after you're done. Yeah.
It's just and to look back and think that I personally had specific takes away from the first film when, back in 1999 when it came out.
Yeah.
I had specific takes, and I can look back and know that I have grown as a person. I have seen more as a person, and I can look at even my personal behavior and admit that my behavior at that time and my perception of things at that time was inappropriate, but I can see that it was colored by and informed by the time that I grew up in and the knowledge that I had. But I've been able to grow and become a better person since then, and realize the toxicity of what my mentality was at that time.
Yeah, exactly. You're hitting a nail on the head here. On that. One of the things that I noticed that was a consequence of the scene in the next scene hit me real bad too. And that's something that really resonates with me now. Do you remember what happens after that scene is over?
Which scene?
Oh, the scene that we're talking about. Like the next film? Do you remember the next scene from the first film? Yeah.
Where she gets sent back basically to the country of origin, and she's no longer accepted by her foster family that she's living with.
Yes. That's not only that, but there's no real consequence for him either. What happens?
Exactly.
He gets laughed at, and then life goes on for him. There's no prosecution. He ends
up hooking up with another girl who the reference to the previous scene is, I'm going to put a condom on you so that you don't come so early because I saw your video. And it's like, there's nothing for the guy.
There's no true consequence.
The girl is the only one victimized in the whole thing. The guy is just looked at as, oh, you come too soon, so I'm going to make sure you don't come so soon. And it's like,
it's just that's the dynamic of the universe that they're operating in. Not the fact that dude deserves to be in fucking jail, but like, so
sorry, you just distributed child pornography because the girl was under the age of 18. But I guess that's okay because it's humorous.
Right.
God, we went far afield.
That's dude. I know we're that was way out, but that just to give you an idea of the mental state of what was happening at that time. Like, I know we went off on tangent after tangent with that.
Which is why we could make funny jokes about my friend Rob being a Russian operative. It was just where this whole tangent came from. Anyway,
Lord,
God,
I'm just looking at the lack of that was it was awful. Essentially the subject matter that I was looking at is the lack of sensitivity around that time frame, right?
There was so much lack of sensitivity. That's why
it's substantial.
That's why something like South Park could exist at that time. But that's a whole nother
Are you kidding?
story.
Like, they exist now and they're fantastic at it. Those guys have come. I don't know if you would consider it a 180 from their consideration of what they used to do before, or if they call it full circle and they've properly evolved with society. I don't know exactly what it is, what it can be called, but I have seen the recent episodes, and dude, they are so much more aware, and they do the way that their comedy works is so delicately intricate with it's so interweaved with modern day society, because they write their episodes so fast that they touch on current events during the episode. Like, and I don't mean current events like they wrote this episode 3 months ago and it finally coming to air. Like, no, they wrote the episode 4 days ago and finished writing it during production, and now it's on air. So what just happened in the past week is referenced within it. But at the same time, these guys are capable of looking at big picture shit to the likes of where most modern journalists can't even touch it. You know what I mean? Like, people whose jobs are to look at society and report it to people, these guys are making some of the most poignant points about how society operates using dick and fart jokes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so what I'm feeling right now.
What's up?
What I'm feeling right now is like, I want to tell a story.
Oh. I like how you know what we're doing? We are
I'm telling a story. Be quiet, you're ruining the story.
I love this.
I was with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And we went to a rehearsal for a play that was happening in like this one area. Whatever. We went to this rehearsal. It was a musical. It was Kiss Me Kate, which is like a musical version of The Taming of the Shrew, which is
cool.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Right. And like this friend of mine, tall friend, redheaded. You know who I'm talking about, right? He could be your brother, but he's not. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, don't say his name, but like, you know what I'm talking about. He was dating.
I'm setting a marker just so I can turn you up.
Here's the funny thing, right? He had been dating the sister who had.
Oh God.
There's 2 sisters involved. He'd been dating the sister who was the lead role, but like he had broken up with her and he was dating the other sister, which is like fucked up weird. Anyway.
Okay.
We was watching the rehearsal because he was dating the other sister. We watched the rehearsal. After the rehearsal, we go with the other sister and one of the other guys, because the sister he was dating previously was the lead role. The other sister was in the chorus. We went with this other sister and like some guy in the chorus to like AM PM to grab some like food and snacks and what, right? Because whatever. We go afterwards, and I'm with my buddy. We go in this car, right? Because I'm with one buddy, but I'm with one buddy, and then the buddy who's dating the other people. So like 2 buddies, right? 2 friends. Really weird, but whatever. So we go to AM PM, right?
Yeah.
And the girl from the girl that the one friend's dating goes into the store and goes and buys stuff. And the guy that's in the chorus is sitting in the car and he's talking about different things. He looks at the sign at AM PM and there's like a sign in the front that's got a couple of people, like they're enjoying AM PM stuff, like the drinks and stuff. This is before the Tungus guy, who's like an amalgamation of all the snacks.
Yeah, like
AM
made
PM.
of fries and Takis and chips.
Yeah, that didn't exist then.
Fucking cinnamon roll eyes or whatever.
Exactly. It was just some normal people like, hey, we love this stuff. I have a Slurpee. I have, Slim Jims or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. I have a hot dog.
Perfect mascot for AM PM. Hot dogs for fingers.
All these people around, right?
Cinnamon twist,
and
fucking
the dude
that, or whatever.
The dude that's in the chorus that drove us there.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, the girl that's the girlfriend of the one friend is inside, right?
Yeah.
Now,
sorry.
let me rephrase. The one friend is again the friend that that could be your brother. The other
Yes.
friend of mine that drove me there is like from a super religious family, right?
Uh-huh.
This is important. So the guy that's in the chorus of a musical theater production points out that the person in the ad on the side of the building looks like a guy that did the thing to his thing. That's what he says. That looks like the guy that did the thing to my thing. Now the friend this is what he says. He did the thing to my thing. The friend that's dating the girl that's in the play as well. That's the sister of the lead.
Is everybody drunk?
No, we're all sober. I'm drunk now, but back then we were all sober because I was only like 19, so I was sober.
Okay.
So the guy, the friend of mine, the friend that could be your brother, says, "Oh, that guy, the guy that did the thing." And some stupid idiot, some fucking, I hate that word. Sorry.
Whoa, yeah. Slow down, pal.
Hate that word. Some really stupid person from the back seat of the van that we were in.
I knew it was going to happen.
That would be me. Says, did what thing to your thing? Because for some reason, my idiot brain wanted to know.
Oh, he's baiting. He's baiting like a motherfucker.
And the dude that drove us there, the dude that's a theater person that I should have guessed, because I didn't know, that completely shocked the religious dude sitting next to me that drove me to watch all of this. He ends up like white as a sheet because like, holy shit, the revelation that happens. This guy tells me he shit on my dick. And this is one of those moments where I like brought up a subject about like the whole American Pie thing and the whole thing. And we end up devolved into this conversation that's a shit on the dick conversation.
Fucking shit. Dude, prime content. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God. Oh my God.
You're welcome. That's one of those moments that stands out in my brain. It's like, this is a moment where you need to, this is a benchmark moment in my life. Because, and I'm sharing this because it is a benchmark. This is a benchmark in my life where I really evaluate from this point when this thing happened.
No.
I use this as an evaluation in my life of like, should you ask a question, James? Do you really want the answer, James? Now, again, the religious guy next to me was just like, oh my God, I'm sitting in a car with a gay guy that drove me somewhere.
Wait, what? No, who knows? Hey, that's not fair. You don't know the context of the situation.
No, I know exactly because he told me later.
Oh.
That's exactly what was on his brain at that point.
Oh.
But
I mean,
I was just like, you asked the question and you got the answer. You need to live with that answer, James.
So off the rails.
And so
I was trying to bring it back somewhere else, but never mind.
No, it's never going to go back.
It's not going to. Oh my God.
And this was this is a benchmark moment for me because it was a moment where I realized you need to be careful which questions you ask. You need to be careful what you said. And I was fully sober. I was fully cognizant. I was just a curious 19-year-old guy who was wondering what the hell was he talking about? And I should have known better, and I didn't.
You know what?
I didn't.
Understanding social cues takes time. I myself am very bad at them. Still have
Apparently
been.
I was
for a very long time.
At that moment, I was bad at them.
Oh, I'm terrible at them still.
And that was.
I can't even tell when I'm being flirted with, and that happens apparently on a regular basis. It's nuts.
I mean, I'm
not complaining.
I would be nice and say you're kind of cute, so that happens, but I don't think you're cute. You're a redhead, so that's always an issue with me.
Well done, thank you. I appreciate that.
Also, you're a dude, and I like vaginas. So even though I wasn't born with one, I like them. So that's a thing with me.
But anyway, hey Mike, if you're listening to James drunkenly talk about his
why are you doing my part? I can do my part.
This is the closer. I think this is the closer here, man. Like you don't
problem.
I'm not sure you entirely realize how off the rails this has gone.
Oh, I know. I totally know.
Oh, no, you don't. Not until you hear it later.
No, I do. I'm cognizant enough to realize how off the rails this is. I was even thinking, like, fuck, we didn't talk about the Ninja. We didn't talk about the Marshmallow update. We have it back.
Nope, dude. No. We closed this with shit on the dick.
Exactly. This is amazing. It's beautiful. It's not what it should have been. Oh my
God. Here we are trying to get to a point where we can get ourselves monetized on YouTube, and this is the shit we put out there instead? Good Lord.
There is no Lord. There's just me.
Oh.
Anyway. Mike, where would people be listening to James talk about somebody having somebody shit on their dick?
I hate you.
I know.
Well, collect yourself. All right. Well, you could be listening to us on the ZenioChronicles.com or Zencron.com if you don't want to type that much. You could also be checking us out on most major podcast platforms like Spotify or Google Play. I'm not even sure we're on Apple anymore. I have no idea. But also you could be checking us out on when I was talking about monetization, if we ever get there, I highly doubt it at this point. It's going to be YouTube. If you're listening to us on the other platforms or on our website, please check us out on our YouTube page. Just search for the Zenio Chronicles on YouTube, or you could be listening to us on our video podcast, which it's not a video podcast, but it's a podcast in video form on YouTube. There, if you're there, please make sure, if you actually like where this went, I mean, it's probably entertaining, then go ahead and make sure that you hit the like button. Next to the like button, make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well. And James, there is one more thing to do. What is that?
Click the bell.
Yes, please click the bell and make sure that you get notified the next time we do something stupid like this and just go completely off the rails. Oh, God, sometimes terrible choices are the best ones you can make.
It is.
Thank you guys so much.
I mean, we've never done something like this.
No, we never have.
While you're there,
you're 3 years into this, right?
While you're listening to this and you're going, oh my God, what the hell happened? First of all, realize this is what it's like to hang out with us when we're drinking. I mean, I'm hilarious, I would like to think. Mike is too. He didn't get as drunk as me, but really, I can attest, he is hilarious when he's drinking. I'd like to think I'm funny. You're like, what the hell happened? Well, this is what happens with James. James is normally composed. Not today. While you're there, click the bell. Like I said, also check out Mike's pages. He does one with video games as well. Chronosode Games, right? That's what it's called?
Yes, Chronosode Games. Thank you.
Video games in the order story, not the order of release. Did I say that right?
Yes.
I didn't wait for you to respond. I just said good.
No, that's good. That's good.
Also check out his other page, Ruling Note Music.
Yes.
This is Mike talking about music stuff, gear, stories about serial killers, helping out major bands.
Stories about serial killers. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know about more than one. That was good. I liked it.
do you not have a story about a serial killer?
I absolutely do. It's one of the most viewed videos on my channel, actually.
Exactly.
Like it's tied for the top with like a guitar and recording pioneer. Like it's honestly one of the best stories I've ever seen. So recommendation from the guy who put the video out. Please go take a look at it.
See, I'm not lying. Even when I'm drunk, I'm not lying. I can admit to being drunk at this point. Check those out. Follow those, especially the Rolling Note Music one. He's like close to getting monetized for that, so then he can make money, and then he can like, I don't know, make money. I don't know.
I hope so. Good. I would love to be able to make money doing that, man. Who doesn't want to make money on YouTube? And it's free to subscribe to the channel.
Please do it.
Yeah.
Do it now. Do it now.
Oh God.
Also
hit a different tone.
We've hit a different tone this whole night, man.
This whole night is
that's this whole point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know anymore.
It was to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
and go a little bit weird. And Mike's gonna be tomorrow. He's gonna be like, "Dude, did we fucking really do this?"
Oh no, I know what we did. I'm gonna have to listen to it in post. You're the one who's gonna be in denial until Monday. I'm calling that out right now. Oh my God, you don't even know.
No, here's the thing. I'm still totally aware. And that's the scary part. I really am aware of everything that and I'm not even horrified. I'm like, this will be funny.
This is going to be pretty funny. I hope so.
This will be funny. Anyway, thank you for listening. And you'll hear from us again next week.
Y'all have a good one.
Enjoy.
Thank you for tuning in, friends. The journey continues next week.